Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm really excited to have you all here as we do our opening press conference as we launch the inaugural season of Judson football. So we're very excited to do this. My name is Nikki Fennern. I serve Judson University as the Executive Vice President, an area in which I work with admissions, financial aid, marketing, and intercollegiate athletics. I'm very excited to be here today to answer some questions and talk about Judson football. With me today is Dan Poplajek, head football coach.
Thank you, Nikki. I'm also excited. I mean, I've been here for a little bit more than a year and a half, right around a year and a half now, and it's been a long road. There's some guys in here that have been, it's been a longer road for some of them, and I'm just excited to get this thing kicked off in 22 days and see what this program becomes and the foundation that we're building here.
All right, thank you. And with that, we'll turn it over to some questions.
First for you, Coach Poplajek, how excited are you now that you spoke into a little bit, but now that we're really 3 weeks out, what are the feelings that are in your mind as we're this close to the start of the football campaign?
I would like an extra 3 weeks if you could find them. I'm excited about the work we've been doing, but, there's never enough time to prepare yet. It's time for us to start hitting someone in a different colored jersey. Some of these guys have been hitting the same people over and over for 2 years now, and what we're building to and what it's going to be on September 4th, I'm incredibly excited about. It's time for us to get to that next spot. With COVID and everything that happened last year, the kind of delay of what it was going to be and having that first game. This is always the season we were concentrating on the most as we joined the MSFA, but not having those, playing games and getting ready for it. And it's time for us to get that next step and move on and start to play and compete against other people instead of ourselves all the time in practice.
Dr. Fennern, a question for you. What are the greatest advantages that the campus will see now with an active football program with a varsity schedule this year?
Well, I think the campus is just going to see so many tremendous advantages by having our football team here. We're very excited that we've moved the team to campus. I was saying to some of the athletes just earlier, for me, hearing football practice on our campus is just a wonderful, wonderful sound for me. Even if I can't see the team, I hear the whistles out there and I know football's practicing, and it just gives a different sense of excitement to our campus. So that is wonderful. What these scholar athletes have really brought to our campus as well is just a new excitement around a new program, the dedication that we know that they've put in for these 1, 2, or 3 years that they've been here to move that forward has been absolutely phenomenal. And then we're just excited about a game day experience. A game day football experience, there's really nothing like it. And the excitement that brings to an entire campus, the spirit that it brings to an entire campus, that really helps to augment the excitement that all of our other sports are bringing to our campus as well is phenomenal. So we're really looking forward to that first game day. Different feel on homecoming than Judson has ever had before in terms of having a homecoming football game. So very, very much looking forward to that.
Coach Poplajek, I have a question for you. What is one moment this preseason that has been the most memorable?
Honestly, probably happened just a couple hours ago when we did the reveal of the locker rooms. A lot of work went into it from a lot of different people, administration, staff, some of the players helped. Coaches and plan ops, and there was a lot of planning that went into it, but seeing it for our guys and the amount of work that they've put in to get to this point, and to have them get something on campus like that and see the reaction to it and see their uniforms and their jerseys, and it's real. It starts to get more real a little bit every time. So that's something I think for me was pretty special.
Dr. Fennern, I have a question for you. Where do you hope to see the program in 5 or 10 years from now?
Well, I asked Coach Papp earlier. If I said 2 national championships, is that going to put too much pressure on you? And he said, no, 20%. That sounds great. So in 5 to 10 years, it's really just continuing to build on the great foundation that has been laid by the scholar athletes in this room, the ones who aren't able to be here, by our coaches, by our previous by the administration who helped to set this up. So What is being built right now, every scholar athlete here will get to say, I helped build that. And we're very excited that they get to do that. But in reality, what it is we want to continue to develop young student athletes and young scholar athletes of character. We want to help them grow in their faith. We want to see them graduate and be successful after they leave campus, and we want them to be highly successful on the field of competition. And we see all of those things really coming together nicely with the help of everybody in this room, with the help of our coaches, with our faculty, with our staff, and with the administration. So I think that there's a very, very bright future for Judson football.
Sometimes, we talk about that, expand on that a little bit. We talk about it as coaches, and a lot of times you'll find out if you were successful 5 to 10 years from now. You won't necessarily judge how successful you'll be in 5 or 10 years. But how did we do with the student athlete, the scholar athletes? How did we help prepare them? There's guys on our staff now that I coached. There's guys that I coached with, and seeing what they become and what we helped shape their lives to be and what they are able to accomplish, and hopefully the pride they have for the program when they get to come back in 10 years and point and say, we helped build that. For me is, we talk about everyone getting to graduate and how important that is, and that 5 to 10 years from now is where, we're going to judge success, obviously off the field. On the field, obviously we want to win, and that's every single year. But it's the off the field stuff that matters, in the bigger picture of things, honestly.
Coach, could you tell me a little bit about how you've seen the team progress since that first practice in late July till now?
So you will not get me in trouble with the NAIA. We did not practice until August. Okay? We were here in July. We did not practice in August. It's been tremendous, honestly. It's been 2 weeks of practice, 2 weeks and a day. We had some weather we contended with last week, but we're getting there. We have a lot of young coaches on staff, so a lot of times I have to remind them, guys, this is week 1 or this is week 2. We have a brand new defense, a brand new offense. We have 40-plus guys that this is their first semester in the program. We have 80-some plus guys that have never played or practiced together. So it takes time to get it to come together. But every day that we've gotten a little bit better has been awesome to see. And the bounce backs is the thing that excites me the most. So we've had bad practices. It's going to happen. We all know that. But they've been challenged when we've had bad practices. We've had personal improvement time to make sure those practices aren't bad anymore. But after that, they've done a really good job of responding and coming out the next practice with energy and excitement and ready to work and getting better. And so it's just that building. We talk about 1% every day, and if you look at it on a chart, on a graph, the 1% becomes it basically goes from here to here in a hurry, and that's what we're trying to do. The building, the progress we're making now is slow, but there's progress every single day, and getting to that next level of where it starts to become a vertical line instead of a slight rise on it is what we're building towards. And 22 days, and like I asked for earlier, I want 3 more weeks, but I have no doubt we'll be ready in 22 days of play. It's because the work that we've been doing and the progress we've been making so far.
Coach, another question for you. There have been plenty of renovations in the fitness center to allow the football program to be housed on campus, including the construction of the football locker room and a weight room. How important are these changes to the success of the football program?
It's incredibly important, honestly. So we have a thing in our program with the number 0, and we talk about building this thing, and the number 0 signifies where we came from 2.5 years ago at this point now. And so seeing the things we've talked to the guys about in recruiting, and then when they get on this is what we have, and here we are at campus, not, hey, we'll be here, and it has it all in one place, and it's that experience that they deserve. We get to shove a practice in at 10 a.m., and we have a 2-hour window instead of not being able to because we have to travel. And so a lot of that alleviates so much of that and makes everything so much easier in terms of planning and the experience for the guys and the work we can get in and the preparation we can make for the games.
Coach, you went from having, obviously 3 years ago, you weren't here at the start, but the program started from the ground slate, and now we're over 90 players in a 3-year span. How has the program been able to expand so quickly to get such a wide variety of players?
Honestly, a lot of it's been the players. They're our best recruiters in all honesty, and the coaching staff has done a tremendous job of recruiting, and it is not easy, and at times it's very painful, and at times it is frustrating, and the relentlessness and the energy that our staff has recruited with has really been a big difference maker for us. We've had some trips that have been very, very successful for us, going to different places and convincing people from sunny Florida and warmer than here, Georgia, and other places to come up here and play football for us, and even New Jersey. But it's honestly, it's the experience that we're hopefully building for the guys and the experience that they have that they then talk about. I think this year we probably had the most, and we have guys coming back. So guys that were here a couple years ago that left for whatever reason they left for, then hear about the excitement around the program, and they're like, you know what, I kind of want to be a part of that. And so it's really helped to keep the numbers and to build the numbers. And then honestly, it's not because you sit next to me, but it's the support of the administration. A head coach can have many different types of administrations, and you can have the ones that are completely out of it, which is okay. You can usually kind of go about your business and do it. You can have the ones that are against you, and that becomes not fun for anyone. It becomes difficult to get things done. Then you have the ones that are fully behind you and invested and asking what they can do to help or asking how they can make things better. And that is what gets down to the players at some point, because they're the ones that benefit at the end. So it's a big combination of a lot of things, but it's all kind of led to that number being where it's at now.
Dr. Fenner, with the program being the only college program in the Fox Valley, what are your hopes of the local community embracing the program?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I think what I want to do is start back just a little bit earlier than that, and to think about 3-4 years ago when we have Ted Sislowski, Ed Grasse, and Dr. Kroom, our president, coming together and talking about this vision of wanting to build a football program, a college football program, and wanting to do it at Judson University. And we don't do that without Ted and without Ed and their support, and without Dr. Kroom saying, yes, I want to do that. And so when that happens and you've got that tremendous support, then you can bring something that's really, really exciting to our area. And we think that we have a tremendous opportunity to be great influencers in the Fox Valley for football, and to create some excitement around football in this area. And we want our scholar athletes not only just to be scholar athletes, we want them to be role models. And so what can we do to have our scholar athletes out in the community being role models for the younger kids who then say, I want to be a college athlete, but more importantly, I want to go to college, all right? And I want to be part of something bigger like that. So I think the influence is not just football. The influence is the role modeling that's going to happen. And one of the things that we're announcing today is that we'll play our home games at Dundee Crown High School. And we're very excited about that. And talking with Dundee Crown and their administration, we're talking about these exact things. It's not a transactional partnership. It's a partnership where we say, how can we make this transformational and be a really big influence on their students, on their athletes, on their community, and how can we make an impact, and how can they make an impact on us? And I think having that opportunity in this area is absolutely tremendous, and we're looking forward to capitalizing on it with the thanks of the people who had the original vision.
Coach, how exciting is it to play in a conference like the MSFA with such a wide range of talent across the board?
Well, it depends on who we're preparing for that week, because I could tell you it won't be exciting at times for sure. But honestly, it's awesome. So if we can play in a weaker conference, and in a weaker conference you can go undefeated, and you can hit the playoffs, and you get bounced in the first round of the playoffs because you don't belong there. Anyone who gets out of the MSFA belongs in the playoffs. And so for us to be able to compete against, honestly, some of the best teams in the NAIA, they call it the SEC of the NAIA, and it's honestly pretty true with the amount of talent. I think before this past COVID season, it was something like 5 of the last 9 years there was a representative from the MSFA in the national championship game. And so that's who you get to compete against every week. You'll know how good you are in a hurry. And that's something that we try to tell our guys is there's an urgency to this thing, and it's because when you start watching some film on some of the teams we're going to be playing, there's some good guys on the other side of the ball, and it's us, having to measure against that instead of against ourselves in practice all the time.
Coach, one final question for you. What would you say would be a successful season, like a reasonable goal for you guys going into this season?
Championship. I mean, it's not. It's the coach answer, right? Obviously, we want to win every game. I kind of said that, and we actually met with the leaders early in camp. I want to say the second day we were all on campus, and we all want to win. We want to win every game, and we know that, and that's what we're trying to do every single day. But we also know that we're young, and there's going to be times where we have games where we are young, and it's not that we're young necessarily in age with a bunch of freshmen and sophomores because we've had 3 years to build it, but we're young in terms of experience and number of games we've played. And so for us, it is we want to be competitive in every single game that we're in. Yes, we want to win every single game we're in, and I think we have a very good chance of doing that. But it's honestly where we stack up in that terms of competitiveness in each game. Are we competing? We're not getting blown out. We are fighting it, and we have to make the plays on the field to win the game. It isn't that we walked out there and the game was over before it started. That's not who we're going to be. That's not what we want to be. So to me, honestly, a successful season, I'm not going to put a number of wins on it because many different things are going to affect the win total at the end of the year. To me, it's 11-0, and then you get into the playoffs and you win the next 4 games and you're a national champion. That's ultimate success. However, one team is going to be that team at the end of the year, and it's not easy, and that's as you're established for 20 years or if you're a brand new program. And so for us, it's honestly that competition, stacking up each week, belonging in each game, and then making the plays in those close games to win it. That's a successful season.
Coach Proplazic, Dr. Federer, thank you for your time.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
You guys got work to do. Get after it.
And then
So Austin will throw it over to you to do a quick introduction of yourself.
Okay.
Austin, I told you.
you can talk first.
That's fine.
All right, now we have Aubrey Williams and Wes Thompson. Guys, thank you for taking questions. First, before we ask questions, tell us a little bit about yourselves, your position, and where you're from.
Yes. All right. So I'm Aubrey Williams. I'm from Pensacola, Florida. I'm a business major here at Judson, and I have 6 little brothers. So that's something a little bit about myself.
I'm Wes Thompson. I play O-line here at Judson. I am a transfer. I did 2 years at a JUCO in California, which is where I'm from. And I'm excited to play some football here.
First question's for Aubrey. What's it like knowing that you're going to be the inaugural starting quarterback for the Judson University football program?
Knowing that I'm going to be the starting quarterback for Judson in his first year is an honor, and one that I don't take lightly. And that's why every day I'm going to give all I have to give back to those who made this season possible.
Aubrey and Wesley, the pandemic delayed the start of the varsity season by a year. How has that experience added further motivation for this upcoming season?
It's been tough with COVID and before that not being able to play a season here to kind of go through those 2 years without being able to play a game. But that has just added to the excitement and the intensity of September 4th coming up. To finally be able to play in that game that we've been waiting for and working so hard for so long, along with all the rest of the guys in this room and the other players on campus.
No, definitely. Pandemic just gave us extra time to practice as a team, work out as a team, and the whole time while we've been practicing and working out, we've had this season on our mind. So we're definitely excited that it's finally here.
Wes, how would you evaluate the offensive line's performance thus far in camp?
Yeah, I want to go back to one thing that Coach Papp said earlier, and this is something that our O-line coach has been kind of drilling into us this whole time, is 1% better every day. About half our O-line is returners, and the other half are freshmen. So I, as well as the other coaching staff, have looked to those returners to help build up the freshmen. And that's one of my main goals, is to really work through these young kids to build them up. Obviously, we've had some rough patches, again, new offense, to kind of learn and embrace these new things. But I have a lot of faith in these guys, and I'm really excited to get after it with them.
This question's for the both of you. You're both from warm places, Aubrey being from Florida, Wes being from California. What's it like playing college football now in a climate that's certainly much more colder than your home areas?
Well, we've had some practice now that I've been here for a year. And before here, I was at a JUCO in Kansas. So I've kind of had some practice now playing in the cold. And it's not just us that have to adjust. We have guys on the team from warm places as well. But I'm confident that we'll adjust just fine and play well.
That's a very mild way of putting it, I think.
What's the real answer, Wes?
Oh, I had actually never been in a place like this before I came here 2 years ago. So again, like you said, I've had 2 years to kind of, experience it and get used to it. But I will say I have no plans of living here once I graduate. I'll just leave it at that.
This question's for the both of you again. Both of you have put an emphasis on faith in your lives. How has God worked through you during your football career and while at Judson?
Yeah, I actually wouldn't be here if it wasn't for sort of that aspect. My major is a worship arts major, which is a kind of like a theology and a music degree mixed. And I was searching for that, but I didn't really know it existed when I was getting ready to transfer. So once the coaching staff reached out to me and offered this opportunity to be a worship arts major and play football, I had to take it. So that has actually been one of the biggest factors in being here. And then to coincide with that, personally, I want that to reflect, and not necessarily in the things that I say, but in my actions. I want all the guys in this room and the freshmen and everyone else to see how I act and to see that it's a reflection of God. And that's also gone into this whole COVID thing and building up this program, learning to trust and to have faith through some of the more difficult times leading up to September 4th.
God is always working in amazing ways, and he's continued to prove that since I've been here at Judson. I've made wonderful connections, through the Lord. And honestly, Judson's helped me do that a lot. Judson's helped me grow in my faith. They do a great job with just Bible studies and connection groups and just getting guys connected and just talking about the Lord. So, being at Judson has helped me grow in my faith as well.
Great. I have a question for both of you again. What's been the highlight of training camp this far?
I got that. I'm going to step outside of football for this one. I got 2 things. I think the first one would be the community I share with my roommates. I live with 4 other guys, and we have a great time. I really enjoy living with them, and that's definitely one of the highlights of being a part of a football team, is being able to commune with your brothers and being able to have fun. And the second part of that was the all O-lineman home run derby that was put on by the players. We had a really fun time with that, and I got to give a shout out to Derek for winning that. That was honestly probably one of the most fun times in camp that we had, and it was outside of football. So I think the overarching theme here is the fellowship that we get to have with each other.
My highlight of camp was actually watching Coach Pat dance. Every now and then during practice, Coach Pat just likes to dance out of nowhere. So those are always my favorite highlights.
Next question is for the both of you. You guys have had a really exciting day thus far, finding out your home field as well as seeing a lot of the locker room where you're going to be hanging out when you're done practicing. What's this experience been like for you today, learning that you both have had some new revelations that are going to really help you in your football program here?
Well, the experience has been great. And honestly, I think most of us are just thankful, really thankful to the school and all the people who put the work in to make that possible for us.
I fully agree with that. I remember when we got shown the first locker room and we saw the jerseys for the first time. I didn't know any of that was. I didn't know that was all going to happen. And I talked to Coach Pap. I told him, I was like, this is the most real that it's felt, in the last 2 years. Getting to see our jerseys, see our lockers, knowing when we're going to play. Like, this is as real as it's been. So the hype is just continuing to grow.
It's a great segue into my next question, which is for both of you. What has been a favorite memory at Judson thus far?
I think for me, that also, there's so many memories that take place on the football field. Again, that home run derby was one of them. That was a ton of fun. But a lot of it takes place outside too. Being part of the music program, I get access to a lot of the studios and the whole music building. And I've had a lot of fun in there. Being able to hang out with people on the football team and people outside the football team, and being able to make music and do what I'm passionate about. And also a lot of the classes have been really good too. So I think both football and outside of football, there's been a lot of really great experiences.
My favorite memories here have just been meeting some of the people, both students, teammates, and faculty. There's just great people here, people that want to help you, and you can't ask for more than that.
I have one final question for the both of you. What are you both looking forward to most walking on the field for the first game on September 4th versus Taylor?
I've played, and I know you have too, played in our first college games already, being both transfers. So that experience has already happened for us. So I'm really excited to kind of live vicariously through the freshmen, to the kids who have never got to step out on a college field before, and for those guys to play their first game. I'm so excited for that hype for them and to be a part of that and be someone they can look up to through that experience.
I'm ready for the clock to hit 24 seconds. I'm ready for the whistle to blow. I'm just ready to run out of the tunnel and get it started.
Aubrey Williams, Wes Thompson, thanks for your time.